40 degrees in here. I'm still in Montenegro. COVID is still keeping me in here. I'm not complaining. It's a beautiful nature. It has its very inspiring moments. And the only downside is I'm not as productive. So anyway, so now I want to be practicing a little bit. I think Mussorgsky, the pictures at the exhibition, which is my could easily be all-time favorite piece of all the pieces. Sukoi, hello. Saludos a benedicciones desde. I'm from Mexico. Welcome. Sorry, I can't speak. I'm just a monolingual, duolingual actually. I'm just two languages. So learning Chinese, but that's still very much at the basic. I'm actually debating. I've been listening to Mosolov, the Soviet composer. It's very interesting, very futuristic, very unexpected, and some sonatas. And maybe I'll be learning the sonata number 2. It's the less known composer. It's still to be, I think, discovered because we want to explore this world of the. Thank you so much. Have a good night to you too. I think you are way ahead of us. I'm in Central European time, so I suspect at your end now being 7 o'clock, that means 8, 9. 10, 11, 12. It's almost 1 o'clock, right? It's about 1 o'clock. So have a good night. Thank you. So we are all princesses and princes and all sorts of mixtures of those. So anyway, let's start into the pictures. I'm also debating whether to do. Yeah, maybe for a start, to see how I'm changing my mind, changing the mood every moment. Maybe for a start, a little bit Prokofiev, and then I'll move on to this one. I can't figure out the angle with this piano because there is no movement. This piano is where it is. It's very heavy, it's 100 kilos. So this is exactly where I can keep it. Let's start from the fourth movement, the one that to my mind is associated to the genetics. And so let me just check in here, show live. You see, when I'm not live streaming, when I'm not practicing, I'm always insecure how is the camera position. Okay, it doesn't seem too bad. So it's actually, I see less than what it is, what you see, which is a little bit on a weird side. So anyway. It's as if it's coming from the depth. You see, it's also interesting because I've been working on this piece for a long time, and now I'm revisiting. And I've been writing down, and of course my pen is not in here. I just remembered I've given it the other day. You see, living in the Balkans it's crazy. It's always something unexpected. Anyway, and then moving things. Yeah, I don't have a pen, so I can't put more notes about it. So I always write down in here some kind of association that I have. Like there is in here a joke. Exactly like a joke, a lot of sarcastical. Okay, that's good. Also, I might be working separate hands. One other pianist on Twitter was asking a poll, how often do you practice the separate hands? Me never. it's really the practice is adjusting to the to all of the challenges. Just imagining how it should be sounding like, and then making it sound like that. No, not no. Yeah, okay. Not no. Are we still live? Now I don't know if you're live. Are we completely disturbed? There is a solo. My laptop is also acting out a lot. Let me check on Twitch what's up. Telegram. Okay. Twitch. I think my internet might also be weird. Okay. Yeah. So now this has to be fixed. I don't know why is this always with the tags on Twitch that I have to fix always. It's musician instrumental. Instrumental piano. No for piano. Okay. Practicing maybe. Practice, yeah. Okay. We seem to be live, I think. There is a lag. Okay, okay, it's good. Sorry about this disturbance. Okay, that's it. I'm still not comfortable with this. Finally understanding these sort of like things. Yeah, thank you so much, Gunnar. Yeah, I think I have my internet in here, but it's getting very warm, and I think my battery is at the last legs. So maybe that's also making some issues. If we are frozen, please let me know. Don't be shy. Yeah, but this one is great. By the way, sort of live. Is it now streaming in a continuum? Because when I was looking at Twitch, it is, except with some lag. I'm so glad that I started practicing with this, because now I'm completely understanding it. It could be this extreme heat that I'm subjected at, or maybe it's just it has been sitting in the subconscious sufficiently. Yeah, so this is the Prokofiev now. Prokofiev Sixth Sonata. This I don't know if is it more famous. Actually, Prokofiev is now really played a lot in the West. In the previous years, not so much because it's from that period of the communist era, and he was a supporter at a certain stage before these sonatas. These sonatas are happening when he's realizing how badly Russia has been dealing with that aspect of humane, of the humanity. So it's kind of like a rebellion against the world, against everything. So a lot of the people are saying that they're very complex in on a many levels. And so it's the sixth night. So this is the first movement, just until the second theme, and it's such a joy playing on this piano. Actually, it's such a huge difference. I can't even describe to you. It's really amazing, and yeah. So but now I'm practicing the fourth movement. The fourth movement, which is all about the it's much more dynamic. It's more tonally centered. Like this movement is almost without the center. It's completely all over the place. It's so dissonant, and it's such a discord. It's very much a war sonata. Prokofiev, yes, that's right. The sixth sonata. So I just played a little bit of the first movement just to give you the sense, the atmosphere, the scope of his being so. Um, like so vicious, so understanding the war, because it's a little bit like galloping of the industrious horses, isn't it? It's all about giving orders, isn't it? Tommy, hello. Yeah, and then of course we have then the second movement, which is as if he's just lost every sense. It's very interesting, as if he's even oh, wow. So this is almost to my mind like a madness when the war happens and then you're just laughing at it, you know? And then the third moment, realization. different mood. I have some wrong notes in her. But yeah, how are you? Travis, hello. Yeah, so in a strange way. And then we have the fourth movement, which is all about the calculation of the internal machine, kind of like a yin yang. It has to be very precise. Hold on a second. Yeah, Travis, thanks for the, that's a Got Talent Award. Appreciate it. Wow. Just had the completely missed note. So let's just work a little bit from this problematic part. Look at that finger order. Fifth and I'm not going to submit to the more comfortable one because I love the challenges. I'm actually going to increase the volume. See, I can increase the volume in here. Travis, yeah, the day is going very good. You see, I have the inspiration to actually be working, and I even have the inspiration after this to do some installation, art installation. Exactly 3 days ago, I'm trying to get the art installation out of me because it's blocking everything else. I have some paintings that I've been half in the process, kind of not finishing, but working on them, and they has been in my consciousness. Great indeed. And then I had a dream, and it was a very interesting dream, exactly 3 days ago, about the Babel Tower. And it was linked to my future installation piece. It's something with the metal. I love the metal energy. So it has to be some kind of structure. See, I already lost it. I had it today at some point. See, that's with the art. If you don't act upon it immediately, it tends to go away. But I know that it has to do with this thing that I've been obsessing about, how we are really together even though we are separate. So this aspect of being born and exiting, entering all the time with this life, and every moment is a different configuration because it's a different population every moment on this planet because of all of these exit and entering all the time. So that's what I'm trying to describe on that visual piece, which will probably I'll be using a mixture of materials, and it has to be in a gray color. Dream inspire some new art. Yes, exactly. No, not so much music, because music for me is static. I'm not composer. I'm just interpreter when it comes to music. Funny that way, Andy. It's because I felt that it just got stuck in my mind just halfway. I could see the bubble of the tower of Babel, right? And but it wasn't the languages one. It was just in my mind, something different, and I couldn't discern what was it about completely. But I know that I saw it fully to see the art piece. I indeed, Travis, I'm really looking. Thank you so much for the again the super heart. Appreciate it. Yeah. So it's an interesting thing with the, like, I still don't know exactly what it represents, because oftentimes with arts also it's such a deep subconscious layer that only afterwards, it's like what Steve Jobs was saying, you can't connect the dots ahead of you, you can only connect them once you pass through it. Because even when I started the painting, I couldn't understand why my painting always the same, and I still don't fully understand what is that symbol representing. I know it's something otherworldly, something maybe from some alien world, and or maybe it's just my view of this world because maybe we all have alien eyes through which we are looking at the world, and with all the togetherness that the internet gives us, we are still so much so diverse. So yeah, anyways, it's going to be an interesting time, because I really need to push now, despite the heat, like it was 40-degree today. So anyway. And the beauty of my using the uncomfortable finger order, like with this is like nobody normal would be using this kind of finger order. Is because I'm just not going to be performing this on a concert, but rather on a professional recording. So that's it. So projects that need finishing working. Exactly, Gunner, great. Also share sometimes if you feel comfortable with me on Twitter. I'd love to see how is it working. The artwork is great to look. Thank you so much, Travis. Appreciate that. Yes, it's all of the, yeah, the interaction, and apologies for my sometimes not interacting back. I'm trying my best, but it's just the time is. And I don't know. Sometimes it's so much energy and everything, and I can't even get like a normal things to do, because it's exhaustive actually. All of the readings I have to do on a daily basis, and because without that I wouldn't be able to write, and then it's a lot going on with the mundane as well, which I would gladly delete with something, but can't. This is almost like a job. something very interesting with this movement. It always has the repetition of three. This is a three times, almost always a repetition of three. And the three, to my mind, kind of definitely, yeah. Twitter, it's ideas tricks. It's exactly in here. It's arena ideas. Although when you put that, it also Twitter will give you my name and the profile. It's the same profile picture, so that's how you recognize. And but Twitter is ideas tricks. And so to go back on this, it's actually three times, always repetition, and almost sound like, yeah, in a flight to me. That's beautiful, actually. I'm always obsessed with birds when it comes to paintings. They always show up somewhere, either the feathers or some kind of, or the beak or a movement that's like that, divorce of gravity, or in collaboration with gravity, because they are using all of the winds in their favor, right? And then this repetition of three in the Chinese mind, like an ancient Chinese mind, represent a fire. It's a triangle, so it's very fiery. And the bird is also the symbol of the phoenix, which is the fire again. It's getting even more and more intense all the time. This part is the one I'm really loving. I'm missing some notes, so I should actually go through this in a very, very slow motion from this part, I think. So much about the slow. She's got a phoenix is yeah, and it's a immortal and a rebirth, but it's also it's constant circle like a phoenix. And if you think about it, the triangle, like a circle is not active, but triangle is the active circle, because with the triangle you always have something that moves it, right? It has much more tendency to move itself, like fire, which is kind of self-propelling. Can I use that word? I think so. So fire is more like self-sustaining, self-propelling, in my opinion. And did we just lose light for some reason? Maybe it's just because of the light outside, because it's 7:45 in here. Yeah, and then when it comes to the phoenix, it's yeah, and it burns to the ashes and it is getting reborn. It's very interesting, isn't it? This kind of like insistence on life, because phoenix is so insistent on life. It's constantly renewing itself, can't get exhausted. And whereas the dragon has all sorts of others here. Is it in Michigan too? Yeah, in here 40 Celsius. So I don't know how is that. It's maybe 100 Fahrenheit, isn't it, or something like that? But it's crazy. Let me just turn on the light. Maybe that's why. Oh, this is even worse, isn't it? Oh no, maybe it's better actually. Let's work on that in here now. Yeah. So I'll thank myself later for this few moments of practicing it in slow motion. Okay. I had a completely wrong rhythm in here. Is this what year was this? Aha, okay. Yeah, so this is 1941. I believe if yeah, it's not written in here. I think it's 1941. So right in the war, this is the first war sonata. I'm also working on the second war sonata, which is the seventh sonata by Prokofiev. And the fifth one is an interesting one I played at the university, at the conservatory. That's more like a neoclassical um, period, I believe. So no, but these three are really amazing. So it's the 1940, yeah. So I just lost some notes in there, so I'm going to be working on this now for a moment. I think from here. And all of this working for the Nazis, for the music Nazis, because they will be counting all of the mistakes, all of the misread notes. And I think it's a little bit excessive. The result of that is a lot of the performances have no personality. But what can we do? We are still living in that kind of era. So it's almost like I'm practicing for them. Slow motion now, this part. Some kind of a suspense movie here. This jump is dangerous. I wrote down in here Kentaurus, is you can always hear. It's yeah, very suspenseful, very much. Just a German, yeah, exactly. Russian was being repelled. Yes, you're 100% right, Gunnar. So what's happening is that I believe, I'm not 100% sure if it was exactly during the sixth sonata, but I'm almost certain during the seventh sonata, when he was composing the seventh sonata. What they've done is they've moved all of the artists away from the front, away from Moscow, into these very secure places. And they were allowed to create, because even at that time Russia understood how important the culture, the art is, because the art is creating the culture, culture is creating the nation, and the nation can progress then. So they understood that that's the heart, that the art is the heart of the, and they, even though they were in war, they wanted the heart to continue ticking, continue, yeah. And so they secured all of these, all of the composers. Prokofiev was initially very much in support to the revolution, to the new ways that Russia was trying to embrace. But then he got disillusioned. He understood the too much of the authoritarianism, which happened at the expense of so many innocent souls. And when there is the crime against the innocent, there will be a bigger crime against everybody. I think that's when you do a crime against the innocent, you are sure to condemn yourself to the destruction. I have been very much, and that's why I think the Seventh Sonata is one of the most haunting of all literature. Like, I literally had to stop learning, stop working on it at some stage last year, because I just couldn't understand the second theme. There was something about it so ghastly, so incredibly deep, and coming from the abyss of the human consciousness, that I had to work on the Goblet variation, which are completely different kind of fish. So I was learning. So this is a project itself, because I did all of those paintings. I did 30 paintings to correspond to the 30 variations, but it helped me because it gave me this empty space in which hopefully the seventh sonata was maturing. So it was such a depth in there that it was incredible. The war inspired some new music. Definitely the war, in general, during the war there was a lot of innovations for the world. It's very interesting. Maybe the necessity is pushing, but don't think it's a healthy innovation. Ideally we should be, yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, kind of, I always have this kind of a bit crazy ideas as well, but I think maybe with when it comes to the war, because necessity produces when something is necessary, then it produces urgency, produces innovation sometimes. But I think ideally, if we were a little bit more healthy society, we would feel this intrinsic need to create all this. Miss Grace, I thank you so much, though, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, I hope that the sound is okay. And also, sorry about a bit of latency, especially on Twitch, because I'm streaming from apps and then it's multicasting on Twitch and YouTube and everything else. So, yeah, appreciate everybody. So, let's go to the side. I wrote down in here Cyclops. Sorry, I can't do the request unless it's the Prokofiev 6 or 7 Sonata, or I could do a little bit Mussorgsky. I want to practice that as well today. That's on a menu. And maybe Debussy, and maybe some Goldberg. notes, but and it's way too too fast. I usually where's the I okay, Travis, excellent. Beethoven Moonlight Sonata, third movement. Yes, that's a very, very simple music. Uh-huh. No, I have to find the music. I could actually play that sometimes, maybe. It's a great request. Thank you. Yeah, maybe I could play actually. If everybody is agreeable, Moonlight Sonata could be show. I had some really stressful. Yes, fantastic point, Gunnar, and thank you so much for being with me on this stream. Shostakovich, yeah, is one of those composers who really spoke to the people. Prokofiev was more like exclusive. He was a little bit more narcissistic, more internal, and he was more interested into the awards and being accepted and being only within the. I'm not historian, but based on what I've been reading, because sometimes maybe some people will disagree with me. Uh, but I think that he was more precise, more internal, whereas Shostakovich was really fighting. He was more like a missionary and really wanted to talk to the people, to make the people much more rebellious and to open this world beyond of what was served to them. It was very, very stressful. If I want, yes, exactly. For advice, everything I need to go. Very good. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Yeah. So I'll definitely try. Now the question is, where is the Moonlight Sonata? Have a great time, Duat. Where is my Moonlight Sonata? Where is the music? So I think I need to find the music and then I'll play it in a moment. Okay. I had it on the other tablet, so now let's get it. I actually feel like now after this story, and then I'll continue working on. And it will be interesting after the Moonlight Sonata how this is going to be sounding like. Um, oh God, I haven't responded to so many messages. And I have, oh yeah, of course, that's also on repertoire. The Rachmaninoff's Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah, and now I lost it from the memory. Now let's find the Moonlight Sonata. Um, Moonlight Sonata. Sonata. Have Chinese in here as a score. Lead score. PDF. Moonlight Sonata. Yeah, here it is, I think. So now, really, Travis, I'm so glad. Also, I'm sorry that I can't interact always. Handed to all the music and this. Yeah, this is fantastic. Like, so we need the. Um, I don't want performance. I actually want sheet music, complete score. No, I want Urtex, first edition, Motionless. Uh, Public domain. Let's try this one. Yeah, maybe this one. This one is compressed. It's also quite funny how I sometimes link of this site continue to download. Okay. Then it's the monthly thing. I need to wait for 13 seconds so I can 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. To continue to download. So it's all about time. Computer, yeah, here it is. So this is the first movement. switch like this. And I'll attend to the comment in a moment. So much pain in here. It says attacca subito. I haven't played this. Yeah, maybe that Prokofiev had conditions as, but yeah, I'm not sure. It was kind of starring when he wrote One Piece. I think it was the Seventh Piano Concerto or something. Um, Quite possibly. I'm actually not that familiar with the historical details, but I know that the Shostakovich was actually prosecuted because of the overall aesthetics and how he. Thank you so much, Travis. The aesthetic that was not complying to the regime, because at that time it's already a regime that's happening, and and sometimes Prokofiev is very revolutionary. He's firing, wants to get the masses really going, and maybe that was very much like a thorn in the authoritarian system. Hearing us to relate to Prokofiev much more so in terms of my career. Really, much more in. Yeah, I think that's just my reading of it. Yeah, thank you so much for the for yeah, for thinking about it, because this is such an interesting thing. When we are, for me in general, the 20th century is such an important period. It's the hallmark of everything that's got to happen for us right now, and it's almost as if it's holding a key. Because for me, as a futurist, I like to write about the technology and how future is developing, and and for me, that's very, very useful when I look at all of the movements, all of the dramas that are happening. Let me just turn on the light, because I feel like the light is very bad in here right now. I think maybe this is a little bit better. I've been streaming for so long, I still haven't figured out the light. Um, just one moment. Anyway, sometimes I'll also learn the whole Moonlight Sonata. Anyway, now it's not the time for that. It's actually more time for the Rachmaninoff one. But before we can go on to Rachmaninoff, we have a little bit of a Mussorgsky to touch upon. And but it's really fascinating to think about. And then also not only Mussorgsky, but also, sorry, not only the Prokofiev, Shostakovich, but also the corresponding composers that are writing on the other side of the planet, like Barber. I was having an interesting conversation with a friend of mine, the composer, about his sonata that I was learning the first movement and some times ago, and I actually intend to play it in entirely, and how I have a sense that he was composing from a safe distance from all of the turmoil of the Europe, and Prokofiev had a very close look into what's happening, all of the inhumanities of the Europe, indeed. So, and then we get this kind of look at this dissonance. Now, again, a crazy finger order. I'm just sliding here instead of I shouldn't do this presentation of this. And as I see, the light is thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, so it's in the process. Like I have a lot of missed notes because I haven't been practicing it for a long time. This I haven't revisited the fourth movement. This is very mechanical. This is almost like a machine. This is the finger order I might submit to. This is not. Oh, wow. And then it's really far in here. I missed a lot in here, so this is one of the very problematic parts for me. Let's just do. Very sinister here. Again, 3 times. Again, the triangle. You hear the kind of like heaviness of the Soviets in here as well, I think. Like, let's start from the problematic part for me. Why am I? to the first movement. Without energy, a remorse, why the war happened. And then a transfiguration, healing. Look, listen to the heaviness in here. It's just an impulse, an echo. And it's even twisted, this echo now. And then this one is very complicated now, this part. Very creepy. It's very bright, the piano, the upper register. Isn't it? Isn't it, Travis? Okay. And then something completely new is happening now next, but I maybe won't for all, oh my God, already more than 1 hour practicing, and normally yeah, I think I should be finishing practicing because my focus is not so good after 1 hour. It's counterproductive. Um, just until the end, and that's it, I think, for now. Tempo primo, a poco riprendendo il tempo primo. I'm purposefully slowing down. This is not going to be sound like this when I'm recording. And it's just a collapsing the iron hand of of what's happening to Russia, to the world, to Europe. It's just collapsing in itself. That's how I see this ending. And in general, it's very evil. This, like the cadenza, this part is very. Okay, that's it. So the contest, this is a recording. No, no, yeah. So it's not for the context. I'm outside of the competitions at all. Just recording, and possibly I'm going to do some kind of a very large scale, very important painting because Prokofiev has been with me for the last 2 years, at least, maybe even more. These two sonatas, and here and there. So I'm not doing competitions. I'm not doing concerts at this stage of my career. I used to do a lot of concerts, and then I realized the futility of it because they require so much practice, and I just don't have that much time as a multidisciplinary artist. I'm doing so much paintings, and sorry, I don't understand. That's the Chile. You are from Chile, right? Native Souls. Thanks for joining us. And so this is just going to be a recording after the corona in one of the studios. We'll see what, where, and how. maybe I'll do some performances because I'm not against kind of a performance art in connection with something visual, maybe some collaboration. But I'm kind of against of just those dry recitals, and they really require a lot of like it's almost like a sport, a training, and then you have all of the the fastest of the wrong notes, and to get them all right, it's so many hours. And I prefer to focus those hours into a different various repertoires. So I'm working on that. I'm working on. I want to do Mussorgsky. Okay, and so on and so forth. So that one, the seventh sonata as well. So the only way, no, fascist, wrong notes, fascist. Yeah, why not? Because we have all of those grammar fascists and the wrong orthodox judges who only care about, yeah, exactly. So I think for our time, maybe if we reverse the time back to 60, 70 years ago when no internet, people couldn't be doing so many things at one time. There was no need for the Renaissance. In this era, I'm my own manager. I'm my own everything when it comes to the visual arts. I have to do all the marketings. I have to use the internet in order to progress the career without selling my soul to the galleries to be representing me and then doing all sorts of stuff. Then you go into a different yeah. So for me, it's not practical. And then on top of everything, I really need to live. I'm living in a very beautiful place, and I'm making the most of the sea, the nature. I'm a little bit disconnected from the culture, from the cultural life, because there are not as many events and also the artists in here. But for that, I use the art residencies. Unfortunately, now COVID is stopping me from any of those. But anyway, so that's basically that in the nutshell. I think now I'll finish this stream. So hopefully, I should actually, I mean, I'm going to keep that fourth movement because tomorrow in the morning, first thing in the morning, I should be practicing a little bit. Maybe I'll turn on the stream because I should start from the ending and then work on the piece progressively towards the beginning. Yeah, because it has to be in a certain state for the for any kind of stuff. And this is such an enjoyment. Thank you so much, Gunnar. I still don't know how to pronounce your word. Is it Gunnar or Gunnar? Gunnar, I think, right? Hansen, that's Scandinavian, right? Preparing. Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us. So anyway, so that's it for now. And also sorry about my lights and maybe the sound. I don't know. I'm just using the phone. I have an issue with the laptop. I need to figure out some artificial intelligence that's making me impossible to have a good quality instrumental recording with the good um, microphone. That I don't know what's happening in there. So anyway, that will be some tinkering over, and hopefully that will be fixed soon. And so now have a great morning, afternoon, evening, everybody. Have a and also keep safe from all of the viruses in the micro world and the macro world.